The old man had gotten up and gone to the stove. There he poured coffee and set 3 steaming mugs on the kitchen table. "But," he continued, smiling, "if you want to understand anything about the Deer Lodge or the times those people lived in, you can't just sit here and take notes. If you do, you won't understand. You must sit yourself within a different kind of thinking." "Here is a practical example," the old woman grinned, eyes sparkling. "Today, many people have a thinking that is influenced by the fax machine. A person can fax a letter from San Francisco to Berlin in minutes, but that person must fight to imagine a time when a letter took 6 months to travel that far." "When it comes to philosophy," added the old man, "the person who lives in the square mind of today will have a hard time imagining what the world is like for people who see all life as circles. Many of our scholars today have this problem constantly. When they study the so-called primitive peoples or the peoples of ancient times, they believe that they understand the circle mind. But they underestimate that their own thinking is square. So they translate everything through the square. Do you understand?" Kind of," said the young woman, frowning. "Well, not really." The old woman opened the pouch of gift tobacco and rolled a cigarette with it, using a high-tech little cigarette roller. Lighting the cigarette, she gazed out the window, watching the flame-red ash leaves shaking as the hungry robins hopped from branch to branch, gobbling berries. With her silvery head wreathed in the blue smoke, the old woman looked like she was praying with the tobacco and thinking deeply. Finally, she said, "You have come with respect, asking a serious question. We will tell you the story of the Deer Lodge. But first we must give you a journey song." "Journey song?" blinked the young woman, turning on her tape recorder.
"In the times we speak of, the native peoples had no AAA road maps," smiled the old man. "So they found their way around with journey songs that contained travel information to guide them. This one will help you to walk into the different thinking of those times."
"Our song begins in a year that was called 1857 by the skunk people," said the old woman. "The white-skinned people of North America were often called skunks by some of the western tribes. This was because they had heard so many whites call each other by the derisive name of polecat. It was the skunk belief that exactly 1,857 years had passed since the birth of their religion. But the many religious wars and the many political revisions of history books had warped the calendar so badly that the 9th month of the skunk year had the old Roman name of 7. Who could trust such a calendar? To the learned people among the brown-skinned tribes, it was perhaps 3,500 years since their ancestors had seen the birth of a new planet in the skies. They reckoned their time from that birth. But they, too, could not be exactly sure of the date, because the brown-skins' own world had also been wounded by a great destruction of knowledge. Because of these different points of view, our vast and beautiful region of the North American continent was seen very differently by the skunks and by the tribes. The two peoples even gave differing names to this region, names that revealed much of the history and the thinking of those peoples. Among some native peoples, the region was known as the Wyoming. The name could be translated as land where the mother goddess is loved. Other peoples called it the Wakanada or the Manitoba. These, too, are names for mother goddess. At one time, the vast